Hi, welcome back to the Megala Mukois. It's Erev Pesach. I am after Sreifas Chametz and Bittul Chametz and have a lot to do today. Still want to bake brownies for the Seder and prepare the Ka'ara and so forth. But I had a really important and brief message that I wanted to share today because I feel it's an obligation incumbent upon all of us. Miracles in our days. The recent success of Israeli air defenses against hundreds of projectiles from Iran is not in the natural order of things. So I want to share a particular place where that exact miracle is told in the Torah. So everybody knows the expression Al Kanfei Nisharim, on the wings of eagles, and I live near a street called Kanfei Nisharim. And another pasuk in the Torah, which is in Hazinu, also referring to the eagle or perhaps a vulture. Kenesher Yair Kino Al Gozalav Yerachef, Yifros Knafav Yikacheu, Yisa'eu Al Evrato. So there's long Rashi on this pasuk. These psukim in Hazinu are poetic. And so on this part of the pasuk, Yifros Knafav Yikacheu, the eagle is different than other birds. And the imagery here is a Kadosh Baruch Hu relating to the Jewish people as chicks of the father eagle. When God intends to take the Jewish people from one place to another, and again, we're speaking about a bird. Eino notlam beraglav kishar oifos. The nesher does not carry its young. Like you see in the picture, there's a bird on top of a bird. And I Googled it, and it says that eagles don't actually carry their young on their back. But this picture is a raven on top of an eagle. And so for the ancients, if they were looking at this up in the sky and they would see a bird on top of a bird, they might imagine that that's the young eagles on top of the adult eagle. In any case, the imagery is for sure true, that other birds do carry their young in their claws. And they're protecting them, because other birds are afraid from attack from above, from the eagle or the vulture, because they're flying at a higher altitude. That's why other birds carry their young with their claws beneath them. But the king of the birds, but the threat to an eagle is not from any other bird. It is from the arrow of a hunter. Therefore, the eagle puts its young in order to protect them on top of its wings. And he says implicitly, Mutav shikanes hachetz bi, v'lo yikanes bivni or bivanai. If the arrow is going to strike, let it not strike my children, but let it strike me. I will protect my young. Afa Kodesh Baruch Hu. So that was the mashal. Here comes the nimshal, the meaning of this imagery. So too with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, Vayesayeschem al kanfei nisharim. God bears us on wings. Kishinasu Mitzrayim achreim v'hisigum al hayam. So the Jewish people have left Egypt. We're 7 days after where the Shvi Shel Pesach. The Jewish people are camped at the Red Sea. The Egyptian army is in hot pursuit. The angel of God has been leading the Jewish people through the wilderness, but now at this time, as the Jews are camped at seashore, the angel of God, which is like a pillar of cloud, goes behind the camp to defend the rear of the camp, because that is where the pursuing Egyptian army is going to come. So that's what this Rashi is explaining. As the Egyptians are chasing them and they've reached them at the Red Sea, so the Egyptians are firing arrows and ballistics. I'm going to show you a picture of a catapult, and they might coat like a ball of iron or other metal with tar or pitch and set it aflame. So it's fireballs that they're throwing at the Jewish people. Miyad v'yisa malach Elokim me'achareim v'yavo bein machne Mitzrayim lebein machne Yisrael. So Hashem positions the Malach Elokim behind the Jewish people to act as like a force field or as air defenses to collect the chitzim and the balistaraot, anything that might be shot at them, within the Amud Ha'anam, within this cloud of glory, so that the Jewish people will be unharmed. So this is exactly what we experienced just this past week as the Iranians shot more than 300 projectiles at Israel, and none of them landed in Israel. The Jewish people were totally protected. There was one, a girl, a Bedouin girl, that got some shrapnel, but unbelievable air defenses, and really not within the realm of statistics either, because I was associated with one of the military projects in the financial aspect of it, in the development of air defenses in Israel, and we're talking about, detection of the firing of a missile, determination of its trajectory, its speed, winds, all other factors, and then setting off another missile to catch it in midair. It's unbelievable that it works at all. But okay, we have heat-seeking missiles, and they do somersaults in order to find the offensive missile and to explode it in midair to avert the danger. But let's say it's 90% chance that that you'll take it out. One of the scientists who works for Israel Defense Industries said this is not natural. We are witnesses to miracles like Kriyas Yamsuf. And it's important that we recognize that and that we appreciate the miracles. And I know there was a coalition. It was not only the Israeli air defenses, the US and France and England, the Jordanians, the Saudis. There were a number of players. There were the drones, the Iranian drones that were coming in were taken down one by one through Israeli Air Force planes. So again, the room for human error was enormous, and yet nothing came in and nobody was hurt. So that's miraculous. And so we have to give thanks. So I wanted to talk about appropriate ways of giving thanks, because if you don't give thanks, that's a terrible midah of being kfui toiva, of being unappreciative, of not recognizing God's hand in saving us. The world was created in Tishrei according to the natural order, but the world was created in Nisan according to the miraculous order of events that we are witness to in our days. So we say at the Seder Pesach, Yachol mirosh chodesh. I might think to tell the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Exodus, from the beginning of the month, because the whole month is a celebration of the miracle of Jewish history. And we're in the middle of a very tumultuous chapter, but it's a chapter that's going to end with Geula. Like Yetzias Mitzrayim was a tumultuous chapter and 10 plagues and bitter bondage, but it ended with Geula. So too this chapter, what's called Chavlei Mashiach, is going to end with Geula. So tonight at the Seder, when you say Hallel, we'll say Nishmas. These are prayers of thanks for the miracles that God does for us. So we should for sure think not only about the miracles that God did for us then, but the miracles that he is doing for us in these days. And that, of course, is a fundamental component and key theme of the Seder, that V'hi she'amda lavoseinu v'lanu shelo echad bilvad amad aleinu l'chaloseinu elo shebechol dor vador oimdim aleinu l'chaloseinu v'hakadosh baruch hu matzilheinu miyadam. In every generation, they seek to destroy us. It's ancient Jewish history. It's medieval Jewish history. It's modern and postmodern Jewish history. They seek to destroy us, and they're really serious about it. And yet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu mi'adam. We need to make our efforts, and we for sure have great appreciation to all the soldiers and the scientists and everyone involved in defending Israel and all of the Jewish people against our enemies who seek our destruction. But we have to recognize and see the story within the story. And it's an ancient story. And tonight we will tell that story at the Seder Pesach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam. So I wish everybody a Chag Kosher v'Sameach. It is well known that like we were zeicha to Geula, b'zchus nashim tzadkaniot, so too in Chodesh Nisan, nizkeh leGeula Shlema, halavai sheneichol v'yachad min hazvachim and upsachim, and celebrate Geula Shlema b'karov. Thanks for being here. Chag Sameach.